This is our newest Helderburg called Theo. But if I was to ask you to describe the color, how would you describe it? And don't just simply say blue, because it's much more than blue. Hi, I'm Paul and this is Lucy, and a very hot day in the Ozarks. So I'll probably be sweating before you know it, but let's get to the chase. Let's talk about the color. I know you wanted to say it's blue, but it's not blue. This is a custom mix. Let me rephrase that. Yes, it is blue, but it's a lot more than just a blue. This is a color that you will remember. This is a color that you can see it from across the parking lot, and you will want to approach it. You will want to see it. You will want to be up close, and you will want to walk around it and see how it changes and the tones of the colors that change. And when we came up with this color, it was a very sentimental feeling, and I'll explain why in a minute. But for those of you, since I've talked so much about the color, it's Jasper Midnight Metallic. Interesting color, and if you try to search that color, you're not going to find it, because that's our own code name for it, because we custom mixed this color. So the sentimental part, and surely some of you can relate to this. When I was a young boy growing up, BMX bikes were very popular. They were the rage. All my friends, they had GTs, they had Mongoose, they had Pipers. Any of you guys watching this having some flashbacks right now? Anyway, so they had all those type of brand bikes, but there was one bike in particular that I wanted, and it was called a Redline. And the Redline was pretty close to this blue, so the color, the mix really had to come from memory. I searched for the color to try to find that paint code for that original Redline back in the day, but I couldn't find it, so it was all about memory. And the reason it's sentimental, because my father was the type that if I wanted something, for example, even my bicycle, for heaven's sake, I wanted a bicycle, we could have went to the bike store, could have purchased one. In fact, I was mowing lawns, saving up to be able to purchase it. And my dad said, no, you cannot buy the complete bike. Instead, you are going to build it piece by piece. You are going to customize it to the specifics that you want. So, of course, I saved up. I bought the frame, I bought the cranks, I bought the wheels, which, by the way, I had to assemble the wheels, and putting spokes in a rim and having to pull them right and do the right cross pattern. Oh, that really wears on a young man's patience when all he wanted to do was go ride his BMX bike and jump some wood ramps with his buddies. But he felt I would take care of it, and if I understood the operation more, it would be that much more important. That's the kind of guy my dad was. So let's talk about this. Theo. Theo is a father and son package, hence why I thought it was so important to pick a really interesting color, because Kyle is the son of Steve, and if you haven't seen Steve's Helderburg called Rocco, you want to check that, because that's a very vibrant red. In fact, the cranks that I put on my Redline BMX bicycle and the wheels were the same color as Steve's truck. So it's funny how, I don't know if it's funny, but it's interesting how I pull from these memories and start sharing colors with clients, and ultimately they end up loving it. So Kyle said he wanted a very interesting color, a memorable color. We started with orange, by the way, and that's going to be his next Helderburg, which is a Helderburg 90 soft top that we're going to do in a very vibrant orange. But for his 110, he finally settled on the color of this Jasper Midnight Metallic, and the color is just unbelievable. So, and Lucy likes eating acorns, so let's just put that in. So standard Helderburg headlights, the staple headlights, which these will be changing very soon. I did clear markers on it. The Helderburg bumper, with the imprints in here, which I just can't get over it. I just love this bumper that we're doing now, also the winch bumper that we have too. The German grille that's made out of metal, the billet aluminum around the headlights, and then of course the Helderburg stance that we're one of the things we're really known for. It is a turbo diesel, but it's not just any turbo diesel. This is the Mark 3.5. It's the go anywhere, do anything, roll down the highway, go up, snow trails, sandy beaches. It doesn't make a difference. Averaging around 28 miles per gallon with a tremendous amount of torque. And the sound is just beautiful. But of course, it's the Helderburg exhaust, the performance exhaust system, where it's a valve system. So the valves are closed when you drive like a civilized individual. But as soon as you crack that accelerator a little harder, the valves open up and it becomes a heck of a beast. A lot of beautiful noise starts to exit that tailpipe. The interior, and if you haven't seen Rocco, again, go to the website, search for Rocco under the 110s, and look at Rocco's interior. But the interior on this one is equally as beautiful. In fact, Rocco's interior matches Theo's interior. Again, this was a father and son combo, I guess you could call it. But I think it's really cool that the father and son are much like brothers. The relationship is amazing. It reminds me of the relationship that I had with my father. And they go everywhere together, they do everything together, and now they both have 110s, which is interesting. But here's the thing, the dad doesn't know that Kyle also has a 90 soft top on order. He's keeping it quiet from him. So hopefully, Steve, if you're watching this video, sorry I spilled the beans. All right, so let's take a look at the interior. Interior is really stunning. There's not much more I can say about the exterior, but anytime I'm doing these videos, if I'm leaving questions unanswered, if you have questions, generally you can find it on helderburg.com, or just ask in the video. Give me some ideas of videos that you would like to watch, and we'll go from there. But anyway, let's take a look at the interior and talk about that now. Before I start talking about the interior of Theo, let me kind of get off topic of Theo, that is, and talk a little bit more about what is a Helderburg. I get a lot of individuals that see us at the different events and they start asking questions, and I tell them much more of what a Helderburg is, and they're like, why are you not talking about that in the videos? And quite honestly, I just kind of took it for granted that people understood what a Helderburg is. So I'm going to give you kind of a brief of what a Helderburg is. So a Helderburg, we start out with an original classic Land Rover that's 25 years old. We keep the chassis and we keep the engine block, and we build it. So we build it from there, but there's some important things to keep in mind. We don't do crate motors. I mean, we could go to GM, we could order a motor, it shows up on a crate, do some motor mounts and drop it in. That would be the simple way, I guess you could say. That would be the quicker way. That would be the easier way for us. But the vehicle was never engineered for that GM V8 crate motor. In fact, that motor, while it's a great motor, don't get me wrong, it's a good motor, but it's a motor that's used for somebody that wants to take an old boat and make it into a speedboat, or it's used for someone that has an American muscle car or a Bronco and they want to throw a motor in there, is really what that motor is for. It's a general purpose power plant is what it is. And sure, that works fine for the old Mustang or something like that. But for a Defender, a classic Defender, this is a purpose-built vehicle. It doesn't work for that because you're creating a tremendous amount of horsepower for a vehicle that's lifted. In fact, a Helderburg's lifted around roughly about 7 inches over a stock Land Rover. So you have a lifted vehicle without ABS brakes, without traction control, without airbags and all that, and you're putting a 500 to 700 horsepower motor in there, and then you're going to put your children in there. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But that's a whole nother side note and philosophical. But what the Defender was built for was an adventure, go anywhere, do anything, whether you want to drive it on the road, drive it off road, whatever it is. So that's why we re-engineered the original engine. And when I say re-engineered, it's our own crankshaft, it's our own cylinder head, it's our own intercooler. So the vast majority of the parts under the bonnet are ours. They're proprietary to us because we created them. As you look around, I mean, at Helderburg, a lot of the parts are parts that we created, but we created these parts specifically for a Defender, not a general purpose, fit on anything, do anything like a GM V8. It was specific to this vehicle to achieve what I wanted to achieve, because it started out as me wanting to build an ultimate Defender. So that's how it really started. And then as the years went on, sharing this on social media, I was never setting out to sell and do bespoke build for anybody else other than me and an occasional few friends. And I guess I still do that. I'm still building them for a few friends. It's just, I don't know the individuals until they contact me, and then we start talking. And then that's where I determine, is this individual going to be right for a Helderburg? And that's where I make the determination, yes, we will build for you, or no, we won't. And I don't mean that in a pretentious way. I just mean I need to ensure that if I'm building a Helderburg for someone, I'm building it for them and they understand what it is, and I'm building it for them for all the right reasons. Because at the end of the day, I want each one to be a beautiful thing, something that I feel comfortable putting my name on, and something that's going to continue on for multiple times. I mean, multiple lifetimes is what I mean. And I've definitely run across a handful of individuals that they wanted to commission a Helderburg, and their goal was to be able to flip it. In other words, sell it after it's built to be able to make a profit. Because the one thing we've seen with the Helderbergs is they've continued to go up in value, and there's a number of people online that are advertising a Defender for sale, and they're calling it a Helderburg, but it's clearly not. It's not a classic Land Rover that we ever touched. All right, so there's that. That was kind of the long form, but kind of gives you an idea. Now, let's talk about the interior. And if you've watched my videos, you know that the cabin, what we do is we get the measurements from the client. And so what's their height, what is their sleeve length, and understanding all of the dynamics of the size that we're dealing with. Because we build the cabin around the individual. The individual doesn't have to just basically accept the cabin. And when I say that, the seat frame is custom built specific to the client. So if their torso is taller, then the seat back is a taller seat back. The seat pan, if they have more length in their legs and their hamstrings, then that seat pan is wider. If they're tall, then we're moving the seat back. And when we move the front seats back, we move the second row back. And that's just important, because then everybody's comfortable in the cabin. Thickness of the steering wheel, the height of the center console, the length of the shift rod, these are all important factors, because we build a cabin that's specific to the individual. But the leather, and I've talked about this numerous times, and that's where I really encourage you to go to my website and see the events, because if you were to see a Helderburg in person, you'll understand that, wow, the videos and the pictures simply don't tell the entire story. But the thickness of the leather is quite substantial. And we didn't do it just because we could, but we did it for the purpose that if you have dogs and you have kids, this leather is going to last a very long time. It can take the abuse. But also the thicker leather, by us doing it thicker, you don't get the cracking in the bolsters. And I'm sure you've seen plenty of cars where it would start to crack. In fact, I've got a 2025 Range Rover, and the seat bolsters are already starting to crack, and it doesn't sit in the sun. Doesn't make any sense. But that's one of the things that I wanted to prevent, is any cracking or the interior looking tired. I want this interior to look as great as it does today 25 years from now. So therefore we had to come up with a special leather that we get from Scotland. It's a very thick leather with a high wax content, and the smell, anytime you come in contact with a Helderburg, I mean, not only does it have the signature stance, that wide stance, but it has that signature smell. And then moving around, Italian Alcantara suede across the top. And of course, we have the hands-free mic that's built into the headliner, which is unheard of in a 25-year-old vehicle. A lot of times you see a microphone just hanging over there. It looks like a little lapel mic like this that hangs over there for the hands-free. But we build the hands-free into the unit. This one does have the shooter's hatch, sunroof. It does not open. It's stationary all the time. It has the LED courtesy lighting. Of course, you have a white light and a red light. The red light is for nighttime. And then just moving around, you can see that everything is wrapped in leather. This does have the high fidelity audio system. And that means we have our custom made in France speakers in the lower dash. And then we have the ones in the seat box. So throughout the vehicle, there's a number of speakers. There's amplifiers that are under the seat. We custom build a subwoofer box in the second row below the center console. And the beryllium tweeters are something, once you hear them, you just have to have them. You can't go backwards. I mean, it's one of those things that the tones are so clear. There's so much clarity, and the highs are just perfect. And it's, well, this stereo, I was going to say it's not about the sound, but funny enough, when Kyle and Steve came to do some of the design, one of the things, our audio systems are bespoke. So we were doing the audio system design with them. So Steve was sitting in the driver's seat, Kyle was sitting in the rear seat. We had the stereo turned up, and Steve says, "It's not loud enough." And we're like, "What? It's not loud enough." And I was like, "Okay." And he goes, "I want it to go louder." I'm like, we get it. So Kyle and Steve both have a bespoke audio system. And you talk about, not only is it loud, but the amount of clarity is unbelievable. So what we've created is the ideal party vehicle. So if you're going hunting or fishing, forget it if Steve or Kyle show up, because if they crank up the stereo, all the fish are gone, all the animals are gone. But for a party vehicle, this will definitely be it. For a place for the guys to hang out and sip some bourbon, smoke some cigars, and have some great tunes going, because you can crank this up and I could be 300, 400 feet away and the clarity is still there, and it sounds like you brought your own personal boom box. So this is Theo, our latest Helderburg. And again, if you haven't been to the website, go to helderburg.com and see where we're going to be at one of the upcoming events. We've got a lot of locations this year that we're deciding to do, and these are all private events. So in other words, we're renting a hall, a space, whatever you want to call it. Interesting places is where we're going. And go to the website, you sign up to get an invitation. And then not everybody's going to get an invitation, because we do fill up. But if you get the invitation, then definitely make it, because it's quite the experience. And it's something that truly you have to see a Helderburg in person to understand there's nothing else like it. I figured you could join me on my typical Sunday, where I walk into the garage and try to justify driving one of my sports cars, but I always end up in a Helderburg. So today, I figured I would do a video and you could see what a typical drive looks like. I have no destination. I'm just going to explore. And I think as you watch a little while, you'll understand why, personally, I just find it hard to drive a sports car anymore, since I'm always feeling a quest for adventure. Nothing crazy, but I just don't want to be limited by the vehicle that I'm in. So let's go for a ride.
You do with the time you have. It's why you're here, and it's how you live, how long you make it last. The golden days. Oh, we'll talk about days 20 years from now. Lean in, look around. The golden days are happening now. The golden days are happening now. I got a fire in me, you're gonna set to burn. And we got a world to see, and all the time to learn. Oh, let's set out on our road. We'll see how far we can go. I got a hole to fill, and it's in the shape of you. Dirt under my nails, strings coming loose. Oh, let's set out on our road. We'll see how far we can go. Through a car window to the top of the world, I'm holding on. We'll see how far we can go. We'll see how far we can go. I got a fire in me, you're gonna set to burn. We got a world to see, now it's our turn. Oh, let's set out on our road. We'll see how far we can go. See how far we can go. Put my hand to the bourbon, filled with a whirlwind of opportunity. As I drank all its contents, my conscience forgot it was already free. Throw back more, but I need less of something. Shots of you have shot me down And now I finally see what I thought that I wanted. It's not what I need. And I'm slowly spiraling. This burning melody, I can keep it tilted up, the bottle never dries, it's more than a taste. So don't let me drink away all the value of today, but I'm afraid it's too late. Throw back more, but I need less of something. Shots of you have shot me down, and now I finally see what I thought that I wanted is not what I need. And I'm slowly spiraling. This burning melody, this burning You're not enough, you don't fit this mold. That bitter feeling, no sugarcoating that. It'll knock you down, flat on your back. Oh no, 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 this isn't some little love song, or a cold shoulder dear for your tears to freeze on. It hurts to lose something you once had, but take a good look around at all the good things you still have. 'Cause there will be another one, something new to fall into, and it'll be a better one. There will be another one, someone you will hold on to, and they will be a better one. Good things will happen, bad ones will too. So remember that as they happen to you. Oh no, 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 this isn't some little sad song, or a cold shoulder dear for your tears to freeze on. It hurts to lose something you can't have back. being